Some truths are hard to swallow, but when you be brave enough to accept them, you gain a kind of strength that makes you immune to mind games. Society feeds us a clean narrative. Life treats everyone fairly. People have good hearts, and working hard guarantees success. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Reality tells a different story, though. The playing field ISN, T level. Clean play ISN, T universal. And putting in effort without understanding what you redoing will drain you completely. Marcus Aurelius said something important. You control your thoughts, not what happens around you. Master your thinking, and you win. Getting control over your mind puts you ahead of nearly everyone else. I am going to share 8 tough lessons with you that will sharpen your thinking in a powerful way. You learn to look past surface appearances, resist manipulation, and make solid decisions when everything around you is falling apart. The 6th lesson especially will transform how you evaluate every connection you have with other people. Regular intelligence lets you fix problems. Dangerous intelligence lets you spot problems coming from a mile away. It is not about playing games with people as minds. It is about the tough work of destroying your own false beliefs. The Stoics described it as teaching your mind to perceive reality accurately, think in the right way, and do what is right even when everything is chaotic. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Lesson 1. Feelings are in the driver's seat. Logic just tags along here. That's something most people don't realize. Decisions usually don't start with logical thinking. They start with feelings, and then we build logical explanations around them afterward. Those reasons we give ourselves, they're usually just the official story we tell after we've already made up our minds. I knew a student in Austin once. He insisted he bought a pricey gym membership because it made sense. The science behind the program, the quality of the trainers, the modern approach. On the surface, it all sounded reasonable, but when you dug a little deeper, the real story came out. He recently split up with his wife. What he actually wanted wasn't a fitness routine. He wanted somewhere he could feel noticed, find connection, and escape loneliness. All those charts and training schedules, they were just a cover story. You can see this pattern everywhere you look. When people argue online, facts rarely change minds. What is really happening is people protecting their ego, defending their identity, holding on to their sense of self. At work, when coworkers push back against a new system, it is often not because the system is flawed. Deep inside, they were wondering, will this change make me obsolete? The Stoics understood this. People almost never fight about what they appear to be fighting about. They were fighting to protect their pride, their position, their sense of security. So here's what you need to do. When you feel that surge of emotion building up inside you, pause. Ask yourself, what is the actual feeling here? Am I angry, scared, desperate to be acknowledged? Then ask the tougher question. What impulsive choice will I kick myself for tomorrow? When other people get heated, don't go after their reasoning. Address the emotion first. Say something like, I understand why this is important to you. Recognize what they were afraid of before you try to bring them around to logical thinking. That's what dangerous intelligence looks like. Being able to identify the feeling hiding beneath the surface, both in yourself and in others. It's the power to stop the fire before everything burns down. Lesson 2. People always look out for themselves. This ISN about being negative. It is just the way things are. And once you understand it, you stop being disappointed in people. We want to believe in completely selfless actions. We want to think the neighbor bakes cookies purely out of love for giving, or that a coworker takes on extra projects just because they care about the group. But underneath it all, self-interest is always present. Sometimes it is noble, sometimes it is selfish, but it's always there. I remember a woman in my neighborhood who appeared incredibly giving. She put together community events, knew everyone by name, always arrived with a friendly attitude. Everyone talked about how selfless she was. Later on, I found out she was planning to run for city council. Every generous act was also part of her campaign. The kindness was genuine, but so was her personal ambition. That's what changed for me. Once I understood what motivated her, I didn't feel deceived. I actually respected her more because she was clever enough to combine her personal goals with helping the community. That is the Stoic teaching. Self-interest ISN, do wrong. It is part of being human. Even Marcus Aurelius acknowledged that serving Rome also served his own sense of duty and honor. Seneca warned us that expecting people to go against their own interests is like fighting the laws of physics. It is useless. So what is the solution? Stop wondering, why are they so self-centered? Instead, ask yourself, what do they really want in this situation? Then look for common ground. Find where interests overlap. Create arrangements where everyone comes out ahead, instead of demanding sacrifices that one to hold up long-term. This is dangerous intelligence in action, recognizing the hidden forces of motivation, understanding that every request, every friendly gesture, every proposal has an underlying purpose. When you see it with clarity, you can work alongside reality instead of fighting against it. Lesson 3. Most people can't. They face the truth about who they are. This one really hits hard. The toughest mirror isn't the one we show other people. It's the one we have to look into ourselves. Most people dodge that mirror. They create narratives, make excuses, build complicated defenses, whatever it takes to protect the delicate self-image they put together. And that is exactly why they remain trapped in the same patterns, the same loops, year in and year out. I had a friend who was always complaining about being passed over at his job. Every single time, he blamed office politics, unfair bosses, or just plain bad luck. But when I brought up his habit of showing up late, missing deadlines, and constantly butting heads with his team, he got defensive. You just don't get the full picture. He said his mind wasn't looking for truth. It was looking for safety. The Stoics described this kind of self-deception as a form of imprisonment. If you can recognize your own role in a problem, you'll never have the power to fix it. Marcus Aurelius wrote constantly about this, examining his motivations, facing his shortcomings, keeping his ego in check. Why did he do this? Because truth, even when it hurts, is the only foundation stable enough to build anything on. Here is how to test yourself. Ask what truth you running from. What criticism do you wave away too fast? Where are you lying to yourself because the reality is too uncomfortable? These are harsh questions, but they liberate you. Most people fill their lives with yes men and echoes of their own delusions. But the dangerous mind looks for the opposite. It looks for the sharp voice that says, you mistaken here. Do better. That takes real strength. When you can stare at your own weaknesses without flinching, you become bulletproof. While everyone else stays comfortable in their lies, you're already growing. Lesson 4. Your success will make some people resent you odd, right? You put in the work. You climb higher. You finally achieve something. And instead of cheers, you get hit with bitterness. Why does this happen? Because your success acts like a mirror. It shows other people what they could have become, but chose not to pursue. And not everyone has the strength to face that reflection. I watched this happen with a friend from college who built a successful business starting from zero. When he was struggling, everyone was nice, supportive, and encouraging. But the second his company got written up in a magazine, everything shifted. People started making jokes about how the money must have changed him. Rumors spread about how he just got lucky. The same people who used to cheer him on started talking behind his back. Here's what is real. He changed it all. What changed was that his success revealed everyone else's excuses. Rather than feeling inspired, they felt under attack, and jealousy dressed itself up as negative feedback. Marcus Aurelius understood this perfectly. Even with his position as emperor, people around him gossiped, betrayed him, and envied what he had. His advice was straightforward. You need very little to live a happy life. Everything you need is inside you, and how you choose to think. Put another way, their negativity is something they have to carry, not you. So when jealousy shows up, don't make yourself smaller to keep others at ease. Don't turn down your brightness just because it bothers their eyes. Stay strong, keep creating. Let what you accomplish speak louder than their negativity. This is dangerous intelligence in action, expecting pushback as the cost of moving forward, understanding that success will challenge not only your abilities but also the people around you. And when the whispered criticism starts, you see it clearly for what it really is, not a statement about you, but a window into who they are. Lesson 5. Everyone who's trying to sell you something once this clicks, your view of people will change forever. Every interaction is an attempt to influence you. Every smile, every story, Every action, it is a move to get you to do something, think something, or feel something. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's barely noticeable, but it is always happening. I ran into an old friend for coffee once. Initially, it felt good, like old times, two friends reconnecting. She asked about my job, my family, even recalled specific things from years back. I thought to myself, this connection is real. Then, about halfway through, the truth came out. She'd gotten involved in a business venture, and suddenly all that warmth was actually the beginning of a sales pitch. The friendship was just the wrapping paper. What she really wanted was access to my money. Now, she wasn't a bad person. She genuinely believed she was offering me something valuable. But that is exactly the point. Influence comes wearing different faces. Sometimes it looks like kindness, sometimes like urgency, sometimes like guilt. Marcus Aurelius dealt with this constantly, surrounded by military leaders, advisors, and politicians, each one promoting their own agenda. He taught himself to look past the surface, to listen not just to what people said, but to understand the motivation driving their words. That is your protection, Don, to assume everyone is trying to trick you. Just assume everyone has something they want. And once you start asking, what are they really after here? You stop being someone who just accepts whatever comes at them. You become someone who makes conscious decisions. That compliment from your coworker, maybe it is sincere, but maybe it is laying groundwork for support in the next meeting. Those cookies from your neighbor could be kindness, could be setting up a favor down the road. This isn't about being paranoid. It is about seeing clearly. This is dangerous intelligence, refusing to be fooled by what things look like on the surface, making choices with full awareness, deciding on your own terms instead of theirs. When you recognize the hidden pitch in every interaction, you stop getting sold and start living by your own choices. Lesson 6. When people reveal who they are, take them at their word. This lesson will save you years of misplaced trust. People constantly show their true selves, in the little moments, in how they treat service workers, in whether they follow through on small promises, in the jokes they make when they think no one important is around. The evidence is always visible. What is usually absent is our readiness to accept it. I worked with a business partner once who had a habit of overstating his contributions in meetings. Initially, I ignored it. Then there were expense reports with inflated numbers, minor things, small amounts. Again, I made excuses for him. He is just enthusiastic. Everyone bends the rules a little with receipts. But years down the line, when I uncovered that he'd been making deals behind my back to push me out of the company, I understood that the truth had been there all along. I just hadn't wanted to see it. Maya Angelou put it perfectly. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. The Stoics lived by this principle. Marcus Aurelius evaluated people not by their words or single actions, but by their repeated behaviors. Seneca cautioned us that expecting someone to fundamentally change who they are is a bet you'll lose. So here is the guideline. Trust patterns, not promises. Watch actions, not words. Look for consistency, not explanations. If someone talks badly about others to you, they'll talk badly about you to others. If they break minor commitments, they'll break major ones. If they show disrespect when it doesn't cost them anything, they'll show betrayal when something important is at stake. This is dangerous intelligence, refusing to rewrite reality in your mind just to protect your emotions, accepting people based on the proof of their behavior. And when the proof is obvious, you change your boundaries, not their excuses. Recognize the pattern, accept it, respond appropriately. Lesson 7. Being comfortable is the opposite of growing. Comfort has a nice feel to it. It feels protective. It tells you, you can relax here. You've achieved enough. But the reality is, comfort is like a trap, a gentle prison that steals your strength long before you notice what is happening. I knew a talented software engineer once. Good salary, flexible schedule, work that wasn't challenging. For 3 years, he thought he was living perfectly, but bit by bit, his skills got rusty. New technology confused him. Discussions that used to energize him started feeling like work. He messed up. He had slowly weakened, not from facing difficulties, but from having things too easy. Then the layoff came, and just like that, the stability he counted on disappeared. The comfort that seemed like a gift turned out to be a trap. The Stoics got this. Marcus Aurelius could have lived in complete luxury, but instead he picked military campaigns, tough challenges, the hard work of leading. Seneca deliberately practiced being uncomfortable, sleeping on hard surfaces, eating basic food, because he understood that if you only know ease, you'll crumble when hard times hit. So how do we push back against this? We pick difficulty intentionally. We speak our mind when staying quiet is easier. We learn the skill that scares us. We exercise when the couch is right there. Each time you move toward discomfort, you make yourself sharper. Here, it's the contradiction. Comfort destroys more dreams than failure ever could. At least failure teaches you something. Comfort teaches you nothing except how to remain unchanged. Dangerous intelligence means catching this trap before it is too late. It means asking yourself, where am I picking safety instead of growth? What am I dodging because it feels difficult? And then walking directly toward it. Because while most people let comfort put them to sleep, you'll be alert, energized, and climbing higher. Lesson 8. We're going to die. And most of what worries you doesn't matter. This is the last lesson, the harshest one, and the one that sets you free. Death to something that might happen. It's the one thing that definitely will. And when you keep this in mind, most of the stuff that drains your energy disappears. I saw this truth play out in a man I looked up to. Before he got his diagnosis, he stressed about workplace drama, neighborhood gossip, whether his lawn looked better than his neighbor's. He fought over things that had zero importance. But once cancer made him face his limited time, everything changed. He stopped worrying about what people thought. He cut off empty relationships. He spent his time only on things that brought happiness, love, and purpose. The irony is, he became more free, more content, more truly alive, even as his remaining days got fewer. The Stoics had a name for this, memento mori, remember death. Not to be depressing, but to stay focused. Marcus Aurelius wrote that people shouldn't fear death, but rather fear never actually starting to live. Seneca warned that wasting time is the one mistake you can never fix. So ask yourself this, if I only had 1 year left, would this thing matter? Would I still waste hours in pointless arguments online? Would I still try to win approval from people I don't even know? Or would I finally say the things I've been keeping inside? Finally create what I've been putting off? Finally live right now instead of waiting for tomorrow? This is dangerous intelligence, cutting out the unimportant stuff, putting your energy only into what will count at the end. While others drown in meaningless stress, you move through life with clear eyes, carrying no unnecessary weight, fully present. Because yes, the truth is harsh. You will die. But inside that harsh truth is your liberation. When nothing is promised, everything that matters becomes pressing, and that sense of urgency is where a truly lived life begins. 8 harsh lessons, each one like a knife that cuts away false beliefs. If you've stayed with me through this entire video, you already have more clarity than most people walking around. Now the real question is, will you actually practice this? Will you pick truth instead of comfort, discipline instead of distraction, growth instead of illusion? Think about where you were when you clicked on this video. Maybe you were scrolling through YouTube searching for answers, feeling stuck, or just sensing that something needed to change. Now look at what you've gained in these minutes they spent together. You understand that emotions drive your decisions while logic just comes along for the ride. You recognize that everyone operates from self-interest, and that it's not a character flaw. It is human nature. You learned that most people can face the mirror of truth about themselves, which keeps them trapped in the same cycles year after year. Now that your success will create enemies out of people who used to be friends, simply because your growth exposes their excuses. They discovered that every interaction is someone trying to sell you something, whether it's an idea, a feeling, or an actual product. They learn to trust patterns over promises, to believe people when they show you who they really are the first time around. You understand that comfort is slowly killing your potential, and that remembering your death is the key to finally starting to live. But here is what separates those who merely watch videos like this from those who become truly dangerous in their intelligence. Application. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You can nod along with every word, agree with every point, and still close this tab and walk away unchanged. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write about philosophy in his private journal. He lived it while leading an empire through war, plague, and constant political threats. Seneca didn't just teach about virtue. He practiced voluntary hardship to prepare himself for real suffering. So let me challenge you right now, before you click away from this video. Don't let these lessons become just another YouTube video you watched and forgot about. Don't let them disappear into the endless scroll of content you consume every day. Because that is what most people do. They watch videos like this. They feel briefly inspired, maybe even motivated for an hour or two, and then they return to the exact same patterns that were limiting them before. Starting tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you'll face a test. Your emotions will try to hijack your decisions. Someone will try to sell you something wrapped in friendship or urgency. You'll be tempted to stay comfortable instead of pushing toward growth. People around you will reveal their true character in small moments, and you'll have to decide whether to believe the evidence or make excuses for them. Your success, if you rebuilding anything meaningful, will start making some people uncomfortable, and they'll disguise their envy as concern or criticism. In each of these moments, you'll have a choice. You can react the way you always have, the way most people do, unconsciously, emotionally, defensively. Or you can pause, remember what you learned in this video, and respond with dangerous intelligence. You can see what is really happening beneath the surface, understand the true motivations at play, and make decisions based on clear-eyed reality instead of comfortable illusions. This is where the real work begins. This is where most people who watch videos like this fall off. Because implementing these lessons too comfortable. It means having difficult conversations you've been avoiding. It means cutting ties with people who consistently show you they can be trusted, even when you wish things were different. It means choosing the harder path when the easy one is right there calling your name. It means facing truths about yourself that you've been running from for years. But here is what happens when you commit to this path. You become someone different. Not overnight, not dramatically, but gradually and inevitably. You stop being reactive and become intentional. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become an architect of your reality. You stop drowning in the noise of what doesn't matter and start focusing on the few things that actually do. The people around you will notice, even if they can't quite put their finger on what has changed. You'll stop falling for the same manipulations. You'll stop being shocked when people act according to their nature. You'll stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter. You'll move through the world with a kind of calm power that comes from seeing reality clearly and accepting it as it is, not as you wish it were. And perhaps most importantly, you'll stop lying to yourself. You'll face your own patterns, your own weaknesses, your own self-deceptions. This is the hardest part because your ego will fight you every step of the way. It will offer you 1,000 reasons why you different, why the rules don't apply to you, why you don't need to change. But if you can push through that resistance, if you can look at yourself with the same clear eyes, relearning to turn on the world, that is when real transformation happens. Remember, we're going to die. Not someday in the distant future, but sooner than you think. Every day you wake up is one less day you have to build something meaningful, to love deeply, to become who you are capable of becoming. Every hour you waste on meaningless anxiety, every day you spend seeking approval from people who don't matter, every month you stay comfortable instead of growing, that this time they'll never get back. So this is your moment. Right now, watching this video, you have a choice that will echo through the rest of your life. You can click away, feel briefly inspired, and return to business as usual. Or you can decide that today is the day everything changes. Not because they learned something new. They've probably watched other videos with similar messages before. But because today is the day you finally decide to live these lessons. Before you go, I want to ask you to do something. If this video resonated with you, if these lessons hit home, hit that like button right now. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so these reminders can find you when you need them most. Because you will need them. Life will test you, and having these lessons pop up in your feed might be exactly what you need on a difficult day. And here is something powerful I want you to do. Go down to the comments right now and type just 3 words. I choose clarity. Make that your public commitment that starting today, you all see through the confusion and live with your eyes wide open. Let those 3 words be your line in the sand, your declaration that you done living on autopilot, done accepting comfortable lies, done settling for less than what you capable of becoming. When you write those words in the comments, you not just typing, you making a promise to yourself. And when you make it public, it becomes more real, more powerful. Look, I know a lot of people will watch this video and do nothing. They'll close YouTube, go back to scrolling through shorts or playing video games, and by tomorrow they won't even remember what this video was about. But you, still here, listening to these final words, which tells me you, different. You, one of the few who is actually ready to change. The ancient Stoics left us these lessons not as abstract philosophy, but as practical tools for living well. They tested these principles in the harshest circumstances imaginable. In war, in political intrigue, in personal tragedy, facing their own mortality. And they found that these truths held up. They worked then, and they work now, because human nature hasn't changed in thousands of years. You now hold the same tools that helped Marcus Aurelius lead an empire with wisdom, that helped Seneca face exile and death with dignity, that helped countless others navigate the complexities of life with clear eyes and strong character. The question is, will you use them? The path is laid out before you. All that remains is for you to take the first step, and then the next, and then the next, until one day you look back and realize you become someone you barely recognize, someone dangerous in the best possible way, someone who sees clearly, thinks sharply, and lives intentionally. So do it right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop I choose clarity in the comments. Take those 3 simple actions and let them be the beginning of your transformation. Let them be the moment you look back on years from now and say, that's when everything started to change. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose clarity. Choose to live awake. I'll see you in the next video. And I hope when I do, you'll be further along this path, stronger, sharper, and more alive than ever before. Until then, stay dangerous.